From a cackling comic book villain to a complex symbol of mental health struggles, the Joker has come a long way and caused a controversy uproar, as Joker should. But is this evolution a step in the right direction, or a dangerous glorification of violence? Welcome, Hero Junkies! The Joker's transformation on screen has been remarkable.
And now, people of Gotham City, the moment you have all been waiting for.
We've seen him evolve from Cesar Romero's campy prankster to Heath Ledger's archaic agent of chaos. But it's Joaquin Phoenix's Arthur Fleck that truly changed the game.
Very unique way of looking at things. And nobody could have made this movie but Todd.
Todd Phillips' Joker wasn't just another comic book movie, it was a character study that put mental health front and center. Now, with Joker Folie Deux on the horizon, we're left wondering, how much further can this character be pushed? But before we talk about the big commotion this film is starting, we have to look into Phillips' change of heart. Back in 2019, Todd Phillips was very clear about his stance on sequels.
The correlation between the two movies is not that direct.
He found the idea of a follow-up to Joker anticipatory at best, and denied any serious discussions about it. Fast forward to today, and we're looking at not just any sequel, but a musical one at that. So what changed? Well, for starters, Joker wasn't just a hit, it was a phenomenon. The film grossed over $1 billion worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing R-rated film of all time.
Joker has crossed the $1 billion mark at the box office, the first R-rated movie in history.
It's not hard to imagine, but that kind of success might make a director reconsider his position. But it wasn't just about the money. Joker also garnered critical acclaim, proving that audiences and critics alike were hungry for a different take on the comic book genre. But Phillips isn't just rehashing the same formula. Joker Folie Deux is shaping up to be a bold departure from its predecessor. While it's not a full-blown musical, cinematographer Lawrence Sher has hinted that music will play an integral role in the film.
But basically, we compiled this Frankenstein set of lenses that, as best as possible, were like old Canon, Nicors. There were some Leicas in there.
This isn't just a case of a director cashing in on success. It's an evolution of vision. The addition of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn is another game changer. Her casting brings a new dimension to the narrative, exploring themes of mental illness and love in ways we haven't seen before in a comic book adaptation. It's a move that suggests Phillips is looking to push boundaries even further with this sequel. So why the musical elements? It's a risky move, especially considering the gritty, realistic tone of the first film. But perhaps that's exactly the point. Phillips seems determined to challenge our expectations of what a comic book movie can be. By incorporating music, he's not just telling Arthur Fleck's story, he's inviting us into his mind in a whole new way. Music is a part of him. This shift in approach also reflects a broader trend in Hollywood. As superhero fatigue sets in, filmmakers are looking for fresh ways to approach comic book adaptations. Phillips' willingness to experiment with the genre could set a new precedent for how these stories are told on screen. Of course, this dramatic change in direction hasn't come without its skeptics. Some fans worry that the musical elements might undermine the serious tone established in the first film. Others question whether the Joker's story really needs a romantic subplot with Harley Quinn. But if the first Joker taught us anything, it's that Phillips isn't afraid of controversy. And let's face it, Joker and controversy go hand in hand. Critics were quick to voice their concerns about the film's potential impact. Richard Lawson from Vanity Fair raised a poignant question. Is Joker celebratory or horrified? Or is there simply no difference? His critique highlighted the ambiguity of the film's message, suggesting that it could serve as propaganda for the very men it portrays. Stephanie Zacharek from Time went a step further, describing Joker as aggressive and possibly irresponsible. She framed Arthur Fleck as the patron saint of incels, accusing the film of lionizing his violent behavior. These criticisms weren't isolated incidents. Many feared that Joker was romanticizing incel culture, drawing parallels between Arthur Fleck's rejection by society and the narratives of disenfranchised young men who resort to violence. The film's realistic portrayal of a troubled individual's descent into madness struck a nerve, particularly in a society grappling with issues of gun violence and mental health. The backlash wasn't limited to film critics. Real-world concerns about potential violence led to unprecedented security measures. Theaters beefed up their security protocols, and in a startling turn of events, the US military issued warnings about credible threats related to screenings of Joker. The film had transcended the realm of entertainment, becoming a cultural flashpoint that demanded attention from law enforcement and military officials alike. Even the families of victims from the 2012 Aurora theater shooting felt compelled to speak out. In a letter to Warner Bros., they urged the studio to support anti-gun causes in light of the film's release. The specter of real-world violence loomed large over Joker, casting a shadow that extended far beyond the silver screen. Amidst this storm of controversy, Todd Phillips stood firm in defense of his creation. He emphasized that the film wasn't made to glorify violence, but to explore deeper societal issues. "We didn't make the movie to push buttons," Phillips stated.
All we really talked about was script and story and character, but we never talked about how are you gonna do it, you know what I mean?
Pushing back against accusations of irresponsibility. He argued that the film's realistic portrayal of violence was intended to make audiences uncomfortable, positioning it as a more responsible approach than the cartoonish violence often seen in films. Phillips' defense didn't stop there. He framed Joker as a Trojan horse of sorts, saying, "Look at this as a way to sneak a real movie into the studio system under the guise of a comic book movie." This statement revealed Phillips' intention to use the familiar backdrop of a comic book adaptation to explore complex themes of mental health, societal neglect, and the roots of violence. The divisive nature of Joker was reflected in its reception. With a 76% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, the film clearly resonated with many viewers and critics. Yet this figure also indicates a significant portion of dissenting opinions, underscoring the film's controversial nature. Joker didn't just entertain, it provoked, challenged, and in many cases, unsettled its audiences. This controversy raises important questions about the role of cinema in society. Should films shy away from uncomfortable truths to avoid potential misinterpretation? Or is it the responsibility of filmmakers to hold a mirror up to society, even if the reflection is disturbing? The debates surrounding Joker extend far beyond the realm of film criticism, touching on fundamental issues of artistic freedom, social responsibility, and the power of media to shape perceptions. As Joker sparked debates about artistic freedom and social responsibility, it also ignited a deeper conversation about mental health portrayal in cinema. How did this controversial film shift the landscape of mental illness depiction on screen? The answer might surprise even the most devoted comic book fans. Joker didn't just tell another comic book story, it challenged our perceptions of mental health in movies. Unlike previous portrayals that often relied on stereotypes or simplifications, Phillips's film aimed for a more nuanced approach. It presented Arthur Fleck's descent into madness as a complex journey, influenced by childhood trauma, societal neglect, and a lack of proper mental health resources. This realistic portrayal struck a chord with many mental health professionals. They praised the film for illustrating how factors like childhood abuse and inadequate support can contribute to violent behavior. It's a perspective that's often missing from more conventional superhero narratives, where mental illness is frequently used as a shorthand for villainy. Todd Phillips himself emphasized this intention, stating, "Part of the reason we made the movie is a response to the comic book world of movies. What are the real-world implications of violence?" This quote underscores the director's goal of using the familiar framework of a comic book adaptation to explore deeper societal issues. However, with this more realistic approach comes increased responsibility. The film's impact extended beyond the cinema, prompting discussions about the portrayal of mental illness in media and its potential real-world consequences. Some critics worried that the film's sympathetic portrayal of Arthur Fleck could be misinterpreted or even inspire copycat behavior. Hopefully, wearing a clown mask on opening day will be the only thing fans copy. Joaquin Phoenix, who portrayed the Joker, addressed these concerns, stating, "I don't think it's the filmmaker's responsibility to teach morality." This perspective raises interesting questions about the role of art in society. Should filmmakers be held responsible for how their work might be interpreted, or is it up to the audience to discern right from wrong? I say, let the directors direct. But as we look ahead to Joker Folie à Deux, it's clear that these conversations about mental health in cinema are far from over. The sequel's primary setting in Arkham Asylum suggests an even deeper exploration of mental health themes. This iconic location from Batman lore has long been a symbol of society's approach to mental illness, often portrayed as a place of confinement rather than healing. By focusing on Arkham, Phillips has the opportunity to further examine the systematic issues surrounding mental health care. Will the film critique the ineffectiveness of institutions like Arkham? Or might it explore alternative approaches to treating mental illness? These are questions that could push the boundaries of how superhero films engage with real-world issues, since it's clear superheroes are more impactful than ever. The addition of musical elements in Folie à Deux adds another intriguing layer to this exploration. Music has long been used in cinema as a powerful tool for expressing emotional states. These musical moments could provide unique insights into the characters' inner worlds, perhaps conveying experiences that are difficult to express through dialogue alone. Moreover, the film's title, Folie à Deux, which refers to a shared psychosis between two individuals, hints at a complex exploration of the relationship between the Joker and Harley Quinn. This concept could lead to a nuanced portrayal of how mental health issues can affect relationships and the potential dangers of codependency. As Joker Folie à Deux approaches, it's clear that Todd Phillips isn't just making another comic book movie. He's redefining the genre, pushing boundaries in ways that challenge our perceptions of the mind and violence in cinema. Phillips' approach has sparked important conversations about the role of controversial art in society. While some critics worry about the potential impact of such realistic portrayals, others argue that it's precisely the kind of challenging content that can lead to meaningful discussions in our day and age. For more movie breakdowns, like and subscribe.